Hey, it's Liz Kelly, and welcome to the Ringer Podcast Network. The Ringer is launching a new podcast from the guys who brought you Cespedes Family Barbecue called Baseball Barbecue. Hosted by Jake Mintz and Jordan Schusterman, they're bringing you the good, the bad, and the utterly bizarre corners of the baseball world and everything that makes it special. Throughout the offseason, they'll dive into the rabbit hole on some of their favorite fascinations, from the home run derby to baseball brawls and much more. Once the season returns, they'll break down the latest MLB news and developments. You can subscribe to Baseball Barbecue on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to The Right Reasons. I'm Juliet Littman.
And I'm David Jacoby.
David Jacoby of Juliet and Jacoby, now on ESPN, the regular channel, just ESPN.
Just ESPN, full stop. It feels weird. It's great. I mean, like, it was teased to us as something that might happen, but you never really know. And then you get locked in your own home and you're like setting up a television studio in your house. And next thing you know, that you get an email saying you're on ESPN. And here we are every day at 4 p.m. Don't just watch it. Like, DVR it, you know, because I know you're going to watch it every day. You're not going to stop your
DVR
day.
It.
Yeah, you're not going to stop your day every day at 4 to watch it, but just DVR it. DVR it. It's an easy, quick watch. 15 minutes and 45 seconds of content. Nice, quick, easy, snackable.
That's a perfect length. That's a great length of content.
Yes.
Jacoby, you went from talking to me in the Grantland office to being on television every single day. That's quite the rise. Just remember me, okay?
There's a strong causation there. There's a strong causation. One thing clearly led to another, you know?
Without
talking to you, I would never have been a television host. I mean, I like the way that you didn't say it yourself, but you set me up to say it. And you know it's true. You know it's true. I'm nothing without
it. Yeah. I mean, without all of those lunches at Corner Bakery and then all of the coffees at the farm of Beverly Hills, you know, who knows if you'd be on E1? It's hard to say.
Well, I will say that there were no lunches at Corner Bakery, nor were there coffees at the farm. It was just pickups. It was very COVID. It was very COVID-19.
Yeah.
We were ahead of the curve.
So ahead of the curve.
Eat together? No, never.
No, never.
Walk there together, pick it up, and then walk back. We can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I never paid. You paid every time. It was great. Great stuff. Let's talk reality TV. We're starting with a challenge. We got 4 big questions that I'd like for us to answer. But first, a celebration. One of the greats came out to play tonight.
Yes,
and there's not enough words in our language to really explain what Nany did tonight, but we are going to try. Nany had a LeBron Game 7 2016 performance. I just want to say Bill Simmons compared her to LeBron. I don't want to take any credit, but he's so right. She came out with the performance of the season so far.
Well, if Nany started off hot, she had a soft and like that was going well. There was a makeout, there was a bar, and Nany in that moment was like, "Oh, it's another Nany season. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna score 30 points a game and just carry the team like I'm James Harden." It's like this is gonna happen. Then Osaka voted off or whatever, purgatoried off.
He got Jade. Jay sent him home.
Yeah, he got Jade off, and then she was kind of dipped. She kind of just like left from the main storylines for a few episodes as we focused on Kayla and Bear and other things. And then Nany saw the floor, as she always does, and said, "You know what I can do to get back in this? Try to hook up with a female." And she did.
And so they went out to a bar in Prague. We love when they go to the bar, so thank you very much. And she just was going after Casey. Casey is one of the many people in the house who has a significant other back home. She's got a GBH, as we like to say, a girl back home. And she was flirting, but I don't think she crossed the line. If you're the GBH, you're like, it's okay, Casey. Like, it's fine. You respected me enough.
If you're the GBH and you watch this episode, you're like, Casey, thank you. Like, you're honestly you're like, thank you. But I did like Nany's move, being like, I have to pee. You have to pee. We have to go to the bathroom, right? We're going to the bathroom now. We're going to the bathroom together, right? It was the most aggressive come to the bathroom with me that had nothing to do with cocaine in the history of reality television.
100%. And Nany was pulling a Kayla, except there really weren't any cameras in this bathroom. She was probably correct. Casey doesn't go. And then Anissa inserts herself. She's trying to like both protect Casey and Nany. And our almost 20 years of knowing Anissa, this is what she does. She like inserts herself when she doesn't need to be involved.
because I've seen Anissa over the years and I've seen her be on the other end of this where she is hooking up with someone. And when she is, it's like, whatever. It's just fun. It's just, we're just all doing it. We're
It's
just
a
here
challenge.
exploring each other. It's a challenge. It's not reality. But then when she's not involved in the potential hookup, all of a sudden the moral police show up. It's like, whoop, whoop, whoop. Like, wait a second. You've got a girl from home and you need to be focused on this. And you're in the tribunal. It's just like, Anissa, like, pick a side. Pick a side.
Yeah, she's like acting like she's like protecting someone. It's like, who are you protecting? Like, calm
like,
down.
why did you? I know you don't care enough about these people to quote unquote protect them. You're just injecting yourself in something for the, shits and giggles.
She was doing it for her, but Nany could not be stopped. They leave the bar. She remains really drunk. They get home. She changes into her Under Armour shorts and a comfortable shirt. That's great move. I mean, that's what you should be doing. You get home, you put on comfortable clothes. Duh. She gets a cup of noodle, like she's a college sophomore, she's walking around with her cup of noodle. She asks Jenna what happened. Like she asked Jenna what happened like 1 hour ago.
Fill me in. What happened?
It wasn't even
Do me a
morning.
favor. Do me a favor. Tell me what just happened.
And again, it just happened. It was not the next morning. They had just gotten home from the bar. It's like she got into the bus
90 minutes. 90, 100 minutes. Yeah, something like that.
Woke up from her like drunk nap on the bus and was like, Jenna, what happened? Jenna starts telling her, and Nany and Jenna are legitimately best friends. Like they are. Like it's not just a show, man. It's not just a show friendship. Like they're really best friends. And she started yelling at Jenna for telling her what she did. And Jenna
blowing
like,
it out of proportion.
The only person Jenna stands up to is Nany. And she was like, fine, then I'm just leaving. And she walks away. And then Anissa comes back. And what does Nany do when Anissa re-enters the scene? She throws.
She has the cup of noodles. And I think that the edit wants us to believe that she threw them at Jenna. But like, threw them at Anissa. She was nowhere near Anissa. It was towards Anissa, but I would say it fell 8 feet short. I'm going to say 8 feet short of actually hitting Anissa. Because
it was just like a rage throw. She just was like,
there's like the J.R. Smith, Damon Jones tortilla soup toss, which seemed like it landed, but this one did not land. Like this was, you threw the cup of noodles for effect, and it's going to be a great story. It's going to go down in legend lore, challenge lore forever. But like, no, you did. That was not that big a deal.
I just want to say the J.R. Smith soup thing. I've always been like, getting hit in the head with a can of soup would really hurt. If you got hit in like any part of your body with like the really hot water from a cup of soup, that would really hurt too. So I hope no one got hurt. I don't think they did.
Do you think
everyone
Nany
was
cleaned
loving
it
the
up?
Nany show?
Did Nany clean it up?
No way. Absolutely
but
not.
Did you notice that there was a security guard there? Like these security guards must go through like so many nights of just boredom and just looking at their phones and playing like Candy Smash or whatever, like the latest game
Candy Crush.
Every once in a while, they have to be like, okay, I'll hold back Anissa from attacking Nany. Like that's a real threat.
We've gotten a lot of security guards so far. There was another fight that they stepped into as well.
But they all look very like local, which I like.
Yeah.
They did not fly in any security for this.
Hire local.
yeah, they hired local. They did. Farm to table security guards. Farm to table security guards.
And they just seem like bored. They're just like, whatever.
Yes, they are. They're like I'm holding back this chick from fighting this chick, which is never going to happen. So whatever. Here I am. It's better than doing nothing.
It was a truly epic performance by Nany. She gave us so much. I don't think we've seen her try to hook up with a woman on the show before, so that was exciting. I don't think I've seen her throw a cup of noodles. I haven't seen her fight with Jenna. It was just a whole other gear for Nany.
It was great.
Like it was good. You hope that your star athletes can access that second gear, and she did.
Well, Julia, you know me, and I'd say like biannually I'll have myself a Nany night like that.
Sure.
But I wake up super shameful and apologetic. And what I respect from Nany is she woke up the next day like, and what? Yeah. And what? I did that. It's just a weird way to approach life. Like the next day I feel so bad and I'm like drinking green juice and like I'm in a steam room and I'm just like, man, you need to really change your lifestyle. But then when it comes to Nany, it's like, yeah, doing it tonight. What? What are you going to do?
That's true. These people don't seem to suffer the emotional hangover, which I like really struggle with at this point in my life. And like I'm around the same age as many of these people. The emotional hangover the next day is really rough. But Nany, I mean, I just feel like her life is an emotional hangover, so she's probably used to it. And then she apologizes. But this leads me to our first big question of the night. Should we like Aneesa at this point? It's like we're 19. I think we're 19 years in, 20 years in with Aneesa. And it's like, what do you think about her?
Okay. We're recording this after the show just aired. And I just want to say that because I'm saying this with that filter, I do not like Aneesa. I said, how about this? I always like to consider myself, I can play both sides. I can be like a lawyer for both sides of this question. So I want you to now be pro Aneesa. Pitch Aneesa to me.
Okay, great. Well, you really turned my game on myself. Here's the case for Aneesa. First of all, am I pitching her as a athlete or as just like a challenge character? Hard to pitch her as an athlete. As Johnny pointed out, she's never won.
Here's what it is.
Here's the thing for Aneesa. She thinks that she has like a moral compass. Whether she does or not, it's like slightly up for debate. But I do think that she thinks that she's like doing the right thing all the time. Like she's not really reckless anymore. She thinks that she like knows what's up and she gets after it. And she also is like, she stirs the pot. Without her, are we going to have this crazy Nany night? Do we get this? Like, is she the Lance Stevenson blowing in her ear, pushing her to greatness? Perhaps she is.
Perhaps she is. But I honestly think that if you're like, oh, she's pretty good at puzzles. And then you're done after that. She's never made me laugh. Yeah. She's never made me laugh. Aneesa had never made me laugh. Like I've never like in the interview been like, oh my God, that was a first take, really good, funny thing that she said. That's never happened in the history of the challenge. She is though a value to producers and editors and storytellers because she does like do good interviews where she kind of like fills in the Chris Harrison voids to get you from one thing to another and will stir the pot enough to make something that she has nothing to do with. Here's what she is good at and why she has value, why she keeps getting invited back. If she has nothing to do with an argument, she will make that argument better, but not involve herself so much that it turns on her.
It's true. She knows just the right time to to remove herself now that she's got it down. She pushes the fight to a certain level of provocation that's entertaining. And then she knows when to walk away. She never gets too close to the edge anymore.
The argument is the vodka and she is the vermouth that just makes it into a drink. You know what I mean? Like
Good one, Jacoby.
It's there and it's a subtle little thing, but it changes the whole dynamic. That is my Aneesa comparison. But no, I do
think
not
you
like to answer the
you
question.
also need an elder stateswoman, like there's Johnny and Wes and sort of you need a woman in that role too.
Good point. I mean, Cara Maria is normally that, but this season she is.
And everyone hates Cara Maria. I don't miss her at all. I'm good with that Cara Maria and Pauly. It's fine.
No, she peaked with Abram when her and Abram were giving each other tattoos and just having sex all over the place.
Tattoos and scratches. Yeah, that was.
I love the idea that they were just having sex in the open. They got tired of the whole we have to do this in the bathroom or whatever. And they're just having sex. They needed to great.
They needed to make it more fun for themselves. They weren't satisfied with what they were doing.
Yes, but I also like the idea of it's there's a depreciating value of watching Cara Maria and Abram have sex. I'm sure the first time you saw it, you're like, whoa, that's kind of weird. And I'm a little turned on right now. But by time 8, you're just like, guys, you're just like, stop.
we don't want to be involved.
Yeah. I just do this somewhere else.
Go elsewhere.
Behind something. Yeah. This is annoying. I'm trying to eat my egg and cheese right now. Next question. Should Jenna have quit the show this week to save her relationship? She tried so hard.
To quit?
Yes, she did.
Yeah. She was like, Tori, do better.
Yeah. She honestly was looking over at Tori during the finals and being like, girl, stand up and start smashing some bricks because this is ridiculous. I should not be beating you at this. She had no business winning that. She did not want to win it. She didn't try to win it. She just kind of accidentally failed into success. With anyone who's worked in an office knows that's how you succeed in life.
I wasn't surprised she won. I think that she is sneaky good at challenges, sneaky good at eliminations. She does when she's in there, she just she's kind of like a gazelle. She's got great posture. She moves very fluidly. She's actually a good athlete and she's good at elimination. So I wasn't surprised. Also, they were building it up so much that she's so checked out that I knew she was going to win. But I don't know, if you really do love Zach, I'm not saying she should leave, right? Zach's obviously terrorizing her from afar via these sporadic FaceTimes.
Oh, no, you can't just breeze over that. You can't just breeze over that part of this. We need to discuss this.
Yeah, we do. But I'm just saying that I think there's a case for her leaving. Like, I know you don't want to disappoint TJ, but if you really are like worried that your future husband thinks that you've been cheating on him and there's like actual reason for him to think that, like, maybe you should go. Also,
there's 11 girls here. And I know Jenna doesn't have the self-awareness to do this, but you have to be like, okay, there's a 9%. If we're all equal, there's a 9% chance I win. And we are not all equal. I am dumber and I'm less athletic. I'm on the underside in terms of average on intelligence and athleticism. So like it takes it from 9 to like 4%. So there's a 4% chance that I win this game, or I go back to my future husband and try to mend this relationship that he has somehow turned into an emergency when it's really not an emergency while I've been gone.
Yeah. He's terrorizing her. Like, Zach is indefensible.
That's a strong word to use, Ms. Littman. Terrorizing.
I'm using it. Yes. I think this is like, he's like emotionally and mentally manipulating her, and it's not okay. He's being so mean, and he's just won't talk anything through. Nothing worse than having a fight and like not being able to like actually have the back and forth. I love the back and forth of a fight, you know, like let's get into it, but he doesn't want that. He's just like yelling at her and trying to guilt her.
Well, it's really weird to like, I don't think he drove her to the airport because no one does that. It's not the 80s anymore. But he like said goodbye and like put her in the Uber and was like, go kill this challenge. I want you to win. Everything's going to be cool. And then like, what did he do? Like Earl Thomas style, got hacked her Snapchat. and then now suddenly he's mad. It's just like, dude, like keep the same energy at the goodbye when you put her in the Uber to go. Then now you're emotionally manipulating her to come back against her will. And then she like accidentally won an elimination. So now the next FaceTime is what I'm really interested in. The one where she was like, yeah, I tried to go home, but I beat Tori. And he's gonna be like, I'm glad you beat Tori, but also like, I'm Come so home. Mad I slept with this dude named Gary like 2 years ago when we were on a break.
When I interviewed Wes and Johnny, one of them told me that it's either like 8 weeks or 10 weeks. That is a long time to be away if your fiance thinks that you've cheated on him. I don't know why why I'm like anti-Jenna like this. It's just you know, being honest with the listener. That's how I feel.
It's not cheating. They were on a break.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't cheat.
Up.
She didn't cheat.
And
I definitely
into her
agree.
account. Like no, like he hacked into her account and like saw something he didn't like. Like, dog, you know what I'm never gonna do? Hack into my girl's account.
Maybe you should trust each other a little bit more. You know, just saying. Also, spoiler alert, they're engaged. I saw it on Instagram months ago. So, you know, they do get through it. But I was surprised she stayed. But Jenna, not a quitter. Very difficult
time to plan a wedding. Very difficult time to plan a wedding.
Not a good time. On that note.
We just had a June 2020 pushed to June 2021. And I was like, responsible.
Oh my God.
Like it.
Wow. I had 2 weddings on the 2020 docket. Both are being pushed.
Got
Tough.
to.
Yeah.
Got to.
All right, next question. It's a good lead in. Should Tori be mad at Jordan for his sideline behavior?
Yes.
Absolutely unacceptable. Jordan, get it together. Don't yell at her. Don't bark at her.
Like,
awful.
Have you seen Bill Belichick? Have you seen Greg Popovich? Have you seen Pat Riley? Have you seen Phil Jackson? Have you seen Pete Carroll? And Pete Carroll probably doesn't deserve this conversation. Steve Kerr. Who knows? Just great leaders. Great leaders when it comes to sports and competition. Do you know what they don't do? You're doing this wrong. You're doing that wrong. You're doing this wrong. You're doing that wrong. Blah, 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 blah. Do this. It's like, honestly, I think that she wins if Jordan shuts his mouth.
I did too. Also, like if she could let someone else, he obviously wasn't telling her the right strategy. I mean, her strategy was really stupid of trying to get like big pieces through the grate, like where you're just supposed to like break the bricks and have all of the debris fall in. I think she could have had a better strategy sooner if Jordan hadn't been yelling at her.
I'm so glad you brought this up because one thing you have to remember when you're on a TV show is this is a TV show. So the thing that's going to work is what looks the coolest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they didn't make the TV show for you to shove it through like a straw. They made the TV show for you to pick it up and break it into big pieces and make a big explosion. The pyro guy, by the way, has had 2 weeks off. He's so pissed. He's like, this is not what I signed up for. He is so pissed. Big pyro next week. I'm already predicting it. Guaranteed big pyro next week. But like, you have to understand this is a television show, so you're going to behave in a way that looks best on television. Breaking the bricks from standing up and smashing them and creating an explosion is going to help you much more than shoving them through the grate.
And also, you're going to get way more tired throwing the bricks down. And that was the goal of this as well. Tori's always trying to like outsmart things, which is funny because she's bad at puzzles. It's like, Tori, just use your brute strength, your brute force, and go forward. And she didn't do that. I thought she was going to win, though. Tori, this was a disappointing showing from her. I thought she had more in her. I'm disappointed. I wanted more. Also, I would not want to be in the challenge house with Jordan without Tori. He must be like an absolute madman without like his fiance to help him like settle down.
Oh yeah, he's an unanchored boat in the bay. You know what I mean? Like the boat in the bay with an anchor down, you only go so far. You're not going to bump into anything. Keep social distance. It's all fine. But when that anchor, he lost that anchor. He is an unanchored boat in the bay right now. Jordan is, and I had Tori as winning. Like Jenny obviously is a force. Jenny's a physical force, but like you never know the politics with Jenny. You can't really tell. You can't trust anything that comes through those lips. I mean, come on.
No.
Like no. There's no sentence that comes past those lips that I fully trust and understand.
You're like, checks out. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, of course. Yeah, you've got the drop in the situation. I don't. You're playing chess and I'm playing checkers, Jenny, with those gigantic lips. But I will say that I had Tori winning from a female perspective. It's got to be Jenny now.
I don't think it's gonna be. I feel like she's gonna like crap out at some point. I don't know.
Well, you did say last week that Johnny Bananas told you who won, so.
I just want to note, I'm really sorry if that spoiled it for anyone else. We did not do that intentionally. I know the male winner. I don't know the female winner. Okay? I'll just say that. Throw that out there.
I know you have a third question, but can I ask first question first?
It's a fourth question, but yes, go ahead.
Sorry. What's happening in Kansas City with the Challenge Cast right now?
Oh my God, I'm so glad that you asked. Did I send this to you or did you pick up on it yourself?
I have no emails from you, and I think I have you blocked on all social media. So no, you didn't send it to me.
I do mute people that are like very close to me in my life. I won't say who, but like there's a chance that I've muted you, Jacoby.
What? Hold on.
I won't say.
This can be a sidebar that goes for 10 minutes. Do you want this to go for 40 seconds or 10 minutes?
Let's just let the conversation flow. Why circumscribe it?
You've muted me on social media.
I did not say that I've muted you. I said that I have muted many people that I'm very close with so that I can just like the person that I know in real life and not have to contend with who they pretend to be on social media.
No, I totally understand that. But then you said there is potential that I have muted you in the past. And I know you well enough to know that that's not, oh, maybe I have, maybe I haven't. I might have forgotten. That means that you've definitely muted me on social media in the past. Will you confirm this or deny this?
I have not muted you on social media. I was just trying to destabilize you, and it worked because here we are.
Good.
Of course not. I got to keep up with Juliet and Jacoby and know when to tune in on ESPN 4 p.m. every day. So
you're back in.
Here's what's happening in Kansas City, and this will lead us back to our fourth big question. Wes, he actually told me about this on the pod. Dee got marooned in Kansas City for quarantine. She had gone to visit Wes because they are really good friends, and she got stuck. So she started living with Nehemiah, who had recently moved to Kansas City to work for one of Wes's companies.
Of course he did.
Of course. Nehemiah is not on the show, but so Wes, I think, and his wife, and Dee, and Kayla and her boyfriend, who is not Bear, nor is it the other guy.
Not Mikey, though. Not Mikey, not Bear.
No.
Yeah.
It's a new guy. Nany and Devin, who's one of my personal favorites. I love Devin. I missed him on the challenge. Let's please get him back.
I remember Devin.
Oh my God. I have a crush on Devin. Doesn't surprise me that Wes and Devin like each other or get along. They all are now quarantining together in a house, and Wes brought in a crew. So like there's the crew to shoot it, edit it, post it, whatever. And they're doing like a real world kind of thing in a house in Kansas City.
Wait, where do I get this content?
It's you have to pay for it through a Patreon, and I haven't yet. I'm going to. I'm definitely going to.
How much are we talking? Give me the number. Can I give you the number? I'm at $5 a month. I'm in.
I was gonna say $5 a week, which is kind of embarrassing. So $20 a month.
That's fine.
I'm willing to pay more than double a Netflix subscription.
I know I'm not alone in saying this. Is you save so much money in quarantine that you get real extra in spending it on online things. You feel me?
Oh my God.
I've done more online shopping than I ever have. It's like I'm saving so much money by not leaving the house. So much money by not leaving the house that I feel like I should just spend it online.
I basically spent $40 on like a personal size pizza 2 nights ago. And like, I felt really bad about it. But then I was like, I'm supporting local business and whatever. I'm not spending any other money. It's fine.
You're welcome. You're welcome, economy. You're welcome, GDP.
Yeah, you're welcome. So that's what's happening in Kansas City. Wes is doing his own Real World. And like, I think I'm ready to call Wes a genius.
Instagram? I can't
just
find
on
it on Wes's
Vimeo.
Instagram.
It's on Vimeo.
Pay for Vimeo? Does Vimeo have like a paid thing, like OnlyFans?
Like through Patreon. Oh my God. Fans only. I don't really understand if it's like a whole thing.
It's OnlyFans. It's not. Oh. It's not fans only.
I thought it was fans only.
No, dudes know what it is because there's a bunch of women online being like, "Do you want?" It's like, "Do you want to see me naked? Pay me $5 a month, and we can do this." And I'm proud to say that I will never, ever, 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 ever pay someone via OnlyFans.
Women don't need to do that because they just watch Normal People on Hulu, and they're like, "Yep, I'm good." Have you heard about this show?
No.
It's a lot of sex with a very attractive couple. It's like about a relationship.
I did a little too hot to handle.
Oh, what'd you think?
I dabbled. Joey dabbled. We dabbled a little bit.
It's good. It's not great.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to my last question, which relates to this Kansas City situation. The L word was dropped early on in this episode, as was the M word, marriage, but in separate ways. Are Kayla and Bear in love?
Well, first of all, I've grown to love, using that intentionally, Bear's approach. Because when he hugged her and said, "I love you," he said it in a way that like seemed to mean that he actually loved her, but he didn't mean it and she knew it. It was more just like Bear is 1000% full of shit. And even his "I love yous" are full of shit, but his full of shitness is actually kind of attractive and what makes you like him because he's just free flowing with his words. So I'm going to say I'm pro Bear on this one.
Okay, that's not the question though. He was like, "I love Kayla." I can't do a Bear's accent though. I try every week. And it just was like seemed premature. And then she was like, she thought she was going to be marrying Mikey, but if not, she's happy to be with Bear. And I was like, you guys are just moving really fast. You're in the challenge bunker. Like maybe calm down a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say that if you've been with Mikey, who when I was following Kayla closely, I've seen their Instagram post. I really enjoyed the two of them together. They both seem to be the same height. They just seem like a good fit. And then if Bear is the thing that throws you off your path with Mikey, then it's not about Bear. It's more about you and Mikey.
It wasn't going to be a marriage thing anyway.
Yeah, like I don't think you're taking Bear home to meet the parents. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's happening.
No.
I don't think you want your dad being like, that skull tattoo on your hand, which is so big it doesn't even cover your whole hand, that partial skull on your hand, what does that mean to you? Like, you don't want your dad asking that question over the dinner table to Bear.
That's a great point. So they're not in love. They need to calm down. But whatever, it didn't last that long because she's got a new boyfriend and he's with her in quarantine in Kansas City. Nany, thank you for all the memories tonight. This was really a performance for the record books. We'll cherish it as we move forward in our own quarantines. We'll think of you as an inspiration every time we have a cup of noodles. Should we move on to Vanderpump Rules?
That was the greatest transition I've ever heard.
Thank you. So I'll take that as a yes. To discuss Vanderpump Rules, I want to get right into the meat of it, the heart of the matter, the dueling parties. And it seemed you could only pick one. And for our purposes, you can also only pick one. And I would like to rank from worst to best who you would like to have at your pool party in the Val, as Sheena said. And we are going to go over my personal ranking. I will go through it from worst to best, least desired to most desired. And
wait,
we'll evaluate each pick.
Everybody, though. There's like a dozen people. Like you have to pick a...
Well, here's who's not in the running. Brittany and Jax, their hosts. Ariana and Sandoval, their hosts as well. They're out. So we just knocked out 4 people that we would tend to talk about, but they're out. See ya.
Okay, so I listen to your ranking and then evaluate?
Yeah, we'll go person by person.
Okay, I'm in.
The person of this cast who I least want to be at my pool party in the Val, where I would never be, is Brett.
What?
I do not want Brett coming.
Whoa, 2 things. Do not disrespect the Val like that.
I'm not
The Val's a great place for families, and it's where
shopping.
my wife is from. And it's very convenient. You get everything you want. It's a great place, an affordable place to live. I love the Val. And second of all, yeah, Brett is out. I try to be pro Brett every week on this podcast, but I cannot be pro Brett.
I love how Charlie calls him out like all the time. She was like,
Charlie
is flannel your thing? Charlie's awesome.
Yes.
Brett and Max fighting about Dana in front of Dana at that dinner scene was excruciating and was so rude to Dana that it could not have just been for the cameras, because like no one would be like, it would be fun if we talked about Dana as if she was just like some hoe on the street and she's not actually here sitting with us.
To fix your lips and say, control your girl. Was that the words you used? Control.
Yeah.
You said control. Yes. Control your girl. Like there's 4 different levels of disrespect in that statement that I don't even want to break all 4 of them down, but it was just so wrong where it's like, Max, dude, like if your own Twitter history didn't kill you on this show, those words might have.
He's absolutely the worst. The only good thing that Brett brings to the table, by the way, Max is not even on my list. I didn't even include him.
Oh, good for you. He does look kind of like the chef from Ratatouille, like the actual rat, but moving on.
The only good thing about Brett is the way that he talks to the camera. Like, that's the only good thing. When he was saying, I asked Max if I could go on a date with Dana, totally fine. I asked Max if I could told Max I made out with Dana, totally fine.
Totally fine.
I told Max I want to have sex with Dana. I'm hitting a roadblock. That was funny. That was funny. But Brett, no thank you. I don't want you at my party. Next, second worst, Katie. I don't want Katie coming. She's a negatron, and I want positrons at my party.
I'm surprised that she's even part of the conversation because I would have left her in the honorable mentions as well. Let's just move on. No, Katie, thank you.
Next is Dana.
Oh, interesting.
Dana's comedy was not funny at all, and it made me uncomfortable. She picked a really bad outfit, and I'm beginning to think that she's not that fun.
I'm beginning to think that maybe we met her at the Mondrian where she got the number of a producer, and then she worked a stand-up comedy bit into it, and then she had a romantic relationship with 2 people on the show. I'm starting to think that this whole Dana on my television screen might be a calculated strategy. I'm starting to think
what?
I'm starting to think that maybe her goal was to be on my television screen and have us talk about her in this way. And we are honestly giving her too much time. Let's move on to the next one.
Next, shockingly in the bottom half, but I have an explanation. Stassi. I don't think Stassi's a great party guest.
Don't you fucking dare.
Here's my reasoning.
You come at the queen, you best not miss. You better have something really good to say right now.
I do.
On behalf of Stassi, I ride for
I do.
her.
If you're having a party, you want your guests to have a great time, but ultimately all the vibes flow through you, the host. Stassi does not play that way. All the vibes need to roll through her. And I just feel like she's too much of like a controlling social presence to really let the party flow in a direction that she's not controlling. And if I don't want to be at Stassi's party, then I don't want her coming because that's the only way she knows how to do it. Second of all, she's kind of a boring coupled person, you know? She's like, it's her and Bo. She doesn't really like to get like super wasted anymore. She's not rage texting. She's like doing interventions with Jax. And I just don't think she's that fun. She's not like partying with you in the backyard. She's like having a calm drink inside.
You know what? I think we're all just looking in the mirror. You know, through you, we're all just looking in the mirror.
I know. That's what I like at parties now, too.
Yeah, those of us that are past 30, you know, we're all just looking at me like, yeah, no, not that fun anymore. Like, not just like down and do shots and get crazy, like kind of in a relationship and just kind of like being boring. It's like, yeah, that's what happens when you get into your 30s.
Here's what sums it up. I really miss going to restaurants. I don't really miss going to bars. Like, I'm okay without bars.
Yeah.
But I really miss going out for dinner and like killing a bottle of wine with a friend, you know?
Yes. Never get the second one. Whenever my wife and I get the second bottle, it's just like too much.
A huge mistake.
Maybe a glass.
The hangover's bad. It's not a good idea. Don't do it. Okay, next.
Always bad.
She didn't attend either party, but Sheena, she's like right in the middle of the pack for me. I'd be happy to have Sheena come. She'd bring a little drama. She'd bring some stories.
Oh, no, she's great. I know. I support Sheena as a guest because she's like, as extra and embarrassing as she is, she's also like self-aware about how embarrassing she is, which is endearing. I'm pro Sheena currently. Big time pro Sheena.
Big story came out. Page 6 brought this to my attention. One of the editors of this show went on a podcast and admitted that she has like a anti-Sheena vendetta and like intentionally gave her some really rough edits like 2 weeks ago when it seems like she's asking out Stassi's brother. It was clear from watching the show they kind of like creatively edited it and like set her up for that. But this editor admitted to it, and then after the podcast went live and there was like a Page 6 article about it, the podcast came down. So it's been a weird season for Vanderpump. A lot of these like small issues keep popping up.
I'm sorry. An editor from Vanderpump went on a podcast. Page 6 caught wind of some details, printed it, and then they took the podcast down.
Yes, I'm sure this editor is like not going to be allowed to work on the show again. She's definitely in really big trouble.
I'm so glad that the mainstream, lamestream media has picked up Vanderpump Rules as an important thing to report upon. Because finally we're here. We've been doing this for years now. And finally, this is like a Page 6 worthy thing.
Absolutely. It's like, it's huge. But yeah, I mean, that person has to be fired, right? Like you can't keep working on the show.
Oh no. I mean, you can't do podcasts, but like at the time, like it was his homeboy was like, hey man, I need a podcast guest. That's why I'm here too, because you have no one else to talk to. It's like, hey man, I need someone to come on. Not why you're here. So someone comes on and they're just like, we got the editor from Vanderpump Rules here. And the person that works at Page 6 that listened to that, shout to them that made that a thing. Also, they're also a snitch that got somebody fired.
Well, 2 things on that. You used to be that person for Stassi's ex-boyfriend, Patrick. You'd be like, hey, I need a guest. And you would go on his show on Sirius XM.
Oh, I don't think I actually did that.
Yes, you did. You went on. You did.
I think I did. I did like one after one evening.
Okay.
Yes.
So A, there's that. B, I would love to interview an editor from Vanderpump Rules. They like know where all the bodies are buried. They know the whole truth. And this show is really well edited. So I think that's a great get. I'm jealous.
We spoke to a producer once. Was that together?
Yes, I believe. Yeah, his name is John Carr.
Shout out to John Carr. Not shy about giving up the details of, Love
it.
What didn't make the cut. Yeah, me too.
All right, next.
I'll go back on that one. You should have an editor from Vanderpump Rules.
I should or should not.
Everyone should.
Yeah, definitely. They know all the good stuff. I actually had the privilege of going to the production company that makes this show, and they have an incredible editing outfit. Like they have like this kind of like warehouse in Burbank where it's just like so many editing bays, and like they're just like a machine. I think it's called Evolution Media. Great stuff. Next, the middle of the pack, right above Sheena, Bo. He just seems fun. Seems like a good energy. Time. Yeah, Bo's a good time.
He forces it a little bit. Like I was thinking about him bringing the suit of armor to the castle in Kentucky. How do you pack a suit of armor? Like, just think about that. Like when they're like, "Hey, you checking any bags?" Like, "Hey, you checking any bags?" It's like, well, I'm glad you asked because I have 4 gigantic suitcases full of one's an arm, one's a leg, the other one's an arm and a leg.
Well, if it's also armor, you gotta check it because it won't get through security. All that metal.
Yeah, it's just so much. I was just thinking about that, and I was like, man, how did you get that armor there? Did you locally source armor? But to be fair, the effort is good from him, and he seems like a good vibe. He doesn't really fight with anybody unless he's fighting with his girlfriend about liking Kristen, which is totally the wrong thing to do. But if I'm not Stassi, I want him there.
Agreed. Next, we already talked about how great she is. Charlie, come to my party.
Yeah, she is Ja Morant. She is Ja Morant of Vanderpump Rules.
It's a great way of putting it.
Shot of energy.
She's a great rookie. League. She's just outside the elite top 3 that we're about to get into. You'll understand why she's not in it. But like Charlie, we've got our eyes on you, and we look forward to you coming to our next backyard barbecue. 3rd most desired party guest, Lala. Give him Lala. Sober Lala is great.
Sober Lala is a great Lala. Because when you hang out and you drink and you're around a sober person, there's always a part of your mind that's like, what is that person thinking of me? And she brings that there. So if you start to act out of pocket, and she starts saying something, like you consider her words differently than you would a drunk person because she's sober. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Number 2, Rand. I mean, he's just the most positive guy in the world.
Who's number one? Sando?
Schwartz. Schwartzy.
Oh, Sando's not even on the list?
No, because he's a host. I told you. We'll talk about Sando in a second. But Schwartz, he's top party guest. I mean, he's just wants to have fun. He wants to have fun more than he wants to be married. He obviously picks the party over his wife 100% of the time.
A million percent of the time.
Yeah.
But can we not? I don't want to breeze over Rand so quick because I would say in the power rankings, as you put it, as people I want to like come to my party, Randall would have been an honorable mention a mere one season ago. But now he's really grown on me. He has really grown on me.
Me too. I'm like, oh, this guy is like, he's nice. He's like supportive of his friends. And I bet he just like bring you a really nice bottle of champagne, a bottle of wine. Like, I bet he contributes, you know? He just seems like a great party guest.
But I also feel like I think he's somewhat successful in Hollywood. We've figured this out by now. All right. So but he also is just like, seems like he gets it that he's not the best looking, coolest guy in the room every room he walks into. Like, I feel like he's self-aware to that point.
Yeah. And it's like very like
endearing. It's nice.
Absolutely. I like it. I'm all in on Rand. Please come to my party. We didn't talk about Jax. We got to talk about Jax and this interesting, speaking of editing, how they edited this episode. So Jax, like, after having a conversation with Brittany last week at the end of the episode, talking about how he's in a really dark place, he seems to disappear is the vibe that I got. They never like explicitly say that, but for like 2/3 of the episode, he keeps appearing via like Instagram footage. And
fake Instagram footage.
I think it's probably like real Instagram footage that they edited, like re-edited for the show is my guess. Like on his phone or something like that.
So you're saying they're like, Jax, let me get your archives to your stories from these days. It seemed like it, but basically like he didn't appear on the show in a shoot. He appeared on the show as someone who goes to Lit Method a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming a Lit Method is like a HIIT class under red lights, right?
I think it's the opposite. I think it's low intensity interval training instead of HIIT, high intensity interval training.
Okay. Doing that 3 times a day is just a very odd way to spend your day in Los Angeles. So
I think that he like just probably had to film that day and just disappeared. Like, I think he like went off the reservation. And so that all they had was like that footage and they wanted to tell the story of Jax going off the deep end. I mean, it feels like we're watching a man unravel. I also think it continues to seem like there's some substances involved. The way that he's like gets so worked up and he's so mad and he's like so sweaty and like just so much full of rage and also doing 3 lit classes in a day suggests to me that all is not well with Jax.
Yeah, I mean, I do not want to speculate on what chemicals are inside of him because the things that come to mind don't lead to 3 lit classes a day. You know what I mean? Like, they're not partying. Like, you're not partying. You're working out 3 times a day. And there's also like this, I don't understand. He mentions the fact that he does 3 a day multiple times. Like, I think 3 a day might have been something that he did for the gram a couple times, but still like his leaving the home, like, I'm going to go to the gym, track me on my phone. Like, that's a really weird thing to say. Like, as a husband to be like, I'm going to the gym. If you don't believe me, track me on my phone. Like, you never want to leave the house and be like, you can track me on my phone. I'm not lying. Like, that's not a healthy relationship. And you guys have been in a relationship for what? 5 weeks?
I mean, the undercurrent is Brittany's like, you know, I didn't want him to go back to his old ways. Like when he used to act like this. When he used to act like this is when he cheated on her. And I actually don't think he's cheating on her. But then I was like, you know what, Juliet? He probably is, you know, like if it, I don't know. He just seems like, there's just something is wrong. And Stassi says to him, it seems like you're losing your mind. And he says, I am.
And it's but it's unfair because I'm going to say something that I'm going to toe the line here. When Ariana speaks about her mental health, it feels genuine. It feels like there's a real problem. There's this thing going on, but it's just like there's a boy who cried wolf vibe with Jax when he speaks about his mental health, where I'm kind of like, how much of this is for the show? How much of this is to get attention? Like, I don't think there's not mental health problems going on there, but it doesn't seem as like night and day, cut and dry binary as Ariana, you know, like
Ariana's situation. Yes. Ariana's situations seem more dire because she seemed really like wayward and scared
Depressed.
and lost and depressed. Yes.
Depressed.
Jax also, I think, is having a much more negative impact on Brittany and the other people around him. So it's like the blast radius is just different than with Ariana. But that's a good point. Like, why are we taking Ariana more seriously than Jax? Like, obviously, he also needs some kind of serious attention. It's like hard to talk about because it's like Jax is like, clearly there's something wrong. And he wasn't like this for most of the season. And then like just like a flip switch, she got
After
married
his
and
wedding,
now
he's got married.
Yeah.
Now he's like working out 3 times a day. And I'm not going to like just put it on chemicals. Like I think there's something going on with Jax right now. The idea that he's not being filmed by actual cameras, that he's doing like these selfie videos and that's how he's in the show, and the working out and the brief fight with Brittany, but not even getting close to resolution. Like the fight with Brittany, that was not resolved.
No,
that was like he was 15% into a fight and being like, I'm gonna go to the gym, track my phone. Like it's just odd.
It was super odd, and yeah, it's just there's something not well with Jax right now. And then also fighting with Sandoval. Like I understand they were frustrated with each other, but like they have like a long friendship. There's like a lot between them, and so there's just like now it's like Jax hates Sandoval. I don't know. It's very strange, but it was quite the episode. I kind of liked having Jax off on his own, like just from like a storytelling perspective. I thought it worked really well.
It was when he was on the screen. I was more attentive and focused on him when he was on the screen than any other storyline in the show.
Well, despite the fact that it was like clearly like edited to look like Instagram, but wasn't straight up Instagram, for some reason it was like more interesting, and it was sort of was like. I don't know. It just it felt more real, even though obviously it was like in like a weird frame.
Do you think the lit method got any money from this, or that was just what he was into at the time? That was the question me and Joey were having.
I think he was just.
I think so too. Like I don't think they paid for this. It wasn't like a presenter sponsor.
No,
or anything like
it wasn't
that,
like when they go to like. It
wasn't
like when they said like a million times, Nighthawk. Should we go to Nighthawk? Yeah, let's go to Nighthawk. Cool. See you at Nighthawk.
Nighthawk's right around the corner. Go to Nighthawk. Yeah.
That they definitely, had like a contractual number of mentions or whatever. But I also loved when Sheena was like, no, I didn't walk. I wanted to wear cute shoes. That was really funny. I was like, yep, I relate to that. I relate.
But there's something going on with me when I watched this show this season, and it's only one more episode, RIP Vanderpump, is I find myself watching the show through the filter of, is this real or not real?
Yeah.
In a way that I didn't used to in the past. And one thing that's happening with this Jax thing is it's getting through the filter. Like it does feel like Jax is unraveling. And when there's other storylines that happen every time, like I think the competing pool parties is totally fake. Like that doesn't get through the filter.
I think with that one, Sandoval's annoyed with Jax, and he's like, it would make Jax mad and be good TV if we had competing pool parties.
But I do think he did call Jax and was like, hey, we're doing this thing, but it's for the show. That felt for the show. But Jax's like lit method workouts and his fights with Brittany and his like odd behavior does not feel for the show. And I hate that I have to watch this show and being like, is this real or not real? Because when you watch Kardashians, you're like, no, this is real, whatever, I don't care. But I do this with this show, and I feel like Jax unraveling is real.
I think so too. He's just he's really something, man. I don't know. Jax, I think he's well based on what I've seen from Instagram, or doing better. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty weird. I think also as you talk about it, it feels more serious. Like when you're watching it, like you're like, oh God, just Jax.
Yeah, when
Jax
you're watching
again.
It's like whatever. Yeah, you're working out for the third time today. Who does that? Yeah.
But as you talk about it, it's like, well, was something actually wrong with Jax? Who knows? But it was. I feel like their wedding was a really long time ago. I think the wedding happened on the show pre-quarantine. So as a result, it feels like a different lifetime,
I do want to bring something up though. You have number one guest as Tom Schwartz, right? And where was Katie?
Second to last.
Okay, and that's a relationship?
Hard to know how it works. I don't know. I kind of believe in them for some weird reason, because I just feel like they've been together for so long. And if they can survive Schwartz cheating and losing their marriage license twice, then they can survive anything.
That's fair. That's fair.
I mean, I know of some couples where like one is way more fun than the other at a party. Some people have the party skills.
Everybody knows those couples. Yeah, of course.
I mean, Whatever. Only one more Vanderpump, huh? Will we still be friends when it's over?
Are we going to keep doing the podcast?
I'd like to. I mean, would you like to?
I would like to too.
Yeah, we got the challenge. Below Deck Med's coming back. I love Below Deck Med.
Oh, I've been crushing Below Deck Sailing Yacht.
I'm a few behind. No spoilers, but I'm going to catch up this weekend. Can't wait.
Oh, I've been crushing that. I'm 1,000% caught up. Because basically there's one show on a night that we watch.
Right. That makes sense. And Sailing Yacht's just an easy one. You know, you just pop it on, you have a good time. Great stuff.
There is some good stuff ahead for you on Sailing Yacht. Did a little too hot for handle. And again, like I said the same thing I said last week. I like the brainless vibe of the Kardashians.
Okay. I'm not going to watch it, but fair enough.
First of all, of course, Real Housewives of New York. I mean, that's probably like what I look forward to the most. Maybe we can pivot this a little bit towards Real Housewives of New York.
Yes, I'd love to. Great idea, Jacoby. Thanks so much for listening. I'll be back on Monday for the season finale of The Bachelor Presents Listen to Your Heart. And then we're going to pivot into some hardcore Bachelor content on Mondays going forward. So you have that to look forward to. And of course, Jacoby and I, Wednesday nights, we'll be back. Have a great week and stay safe. And hey, don't feel bad if you order in a really expensive dinner from Postmates. You know, you're just supporting the economy. Go for it.